Hey, Billy Epplehart here. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the vlog. Today I'm answering some questions that other vlog viewers or YouTube viewers have sent in, questions and comments. And I have one here that says, how do you know when you're ready to start a business? Well, that's a great question. And I think for everybody, the answer to that is something a little different. But here's what I will say. When it comes to starting a business, let me say, number one, there's great risk involved no matter how ready you get, no matter who you are. And maybe we'll talk about some of those risks. But the one thing is that if you know you're willing to take the risk, then that's a good time to start the business. I remember the first time a business I started, and I even hate to tell this because it's going to be out there on the video, but I remember one time I was in my 20s, my early 20s, and I was so excited about starting a business, and I wanted to get into the printing business. Now, I had other things I was doing, but I really was interested, in having one of those absentee businesses. But you got to know, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about money. I didn't know anything about business. So this guy actually sold me this old data machine that was, it actually worked off of the paper data strips. You see them sometimes on old movies. And they used this machine to lay out the stuff you would do. And number one, the machine didn't work. I didn't know enough about business. So where I started learning that the three most important words in business are verify, verify, verify. And so anyway, this guy sold me this machine for $3,000. Now that was back in the late 1970s, and $3,000 was a lot of money. And I remember I paid him the money, and when I actually sent somebody to pick the machine up and bring it to me, the person that actually was a friend of mine came in and looked at it, and he looked at me, he said, "Do you know what you just bought?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I just bought a deal to lay out for printing." And he shook his head. He said, "This is a piece of junk." He said, "Number one, it won't even turn on. Did you even see if it would turn on?" And I hate to admit that I didn't. Now, I will say that I went back to get the money from the guy. And to make a long story short, I didn't get all the money, but I got some of my money back. About half the money of the $3,000 he gave me back because he knew it was a fraudulent sale. So here was the point though. The point is not that I made a mistake, which was a big one, but the point is that I actually was willing to take the risk. And so now I've started other businesses, i.e. real estate, where I was willing to take the risk, but I had learned a lot more about business and a lot more about finance and money in that series of time. Still made some mistakes, but they were mistakes that I could recover from and mistakes that I could move forward with. And so I was able to be successful in doing that. So number one is being able to take the risk. And then number two is really, are you able to think about your business on paper? Being able to think on paper is one of those unique things that help us really understand. Sometimes being able to think on paper is just simply kind of writing a T-bar like the accountants watching would do with debits and credits, but instead you put pros and cons, and you put pros on this side and you list them out, put cons on the other side and you list them out, and then you actually begin to pray about that, think about that, and see kind of, is this a good thing to do? So learn to think on paper. One of the things that I mentioned in one of the other vlogs is what's called the business model generation canvas. And that canvas is a great way. They have what's called the lean canvas, and then you have what's called the full canvas. There's several canvases. I still like the full canvas to be able to think on paper about your business. Really makes you think about income streams, makes you think about your value proposition or unique selling proposition, and who your customer segments are. So are you willing to take the risk? Can you think about your business on paper? And then number three is, can you bootstrap your business? And what that simply means is, can you make enough sales? Can you have enough transactions in order that you can pay for your services or good, your service or product that you're offering as you go through it? In other words, you don't have to borrow a bunch of money to get started. Sometimes people come to me with these business ideas, and I talk about this in another vlog, and they bring what they think is an A business idea, but when I actually look at their model, their business model, it's like a C or D business model. And I've said this many times, but I would rather have an A business model in a B or C business idea than the other way around, because your business model really is going to determine how you make money. And so how do you know if you're really willing? Are you willing to take the risk? Can you think about your business on paper? And have you really thought through having a good business model, your revenue streams, and what you have? So this is Billy Epphart. Listen, thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you right back here in another video. Bye-bye.